Writing is hard. Our most beloved authors admit that it took them years to craft their babies.
Hi! Say hi to mommy.
As a mom with 2 toddlers, I don't have time to read, or traditionally read, and this is when audiobooks come in handy. There's really no point in staring at a computer screen or a notebook if I'm not producing anything. Hello my lovelies! Today's video is about how to develop a writing mindset or getting into a writer's mindset. Now, developing a writing mindset can feel tricky for many of us writers. Essentially, we're trying to get inspired or motivated to start writing and to essentially keep writing. But how do you do that? How do you do that when you work a 9-to-5 job, you may have children like myself, you may be a caretaker, or you run a business? And it may feel defeating when we see our favorite authors publishing left and right. It makes us wonder if there's an answer key or a green button to it all in order to get this writing mindset correct. And yes, there is, but it's very subjective. Every writer has their own way of getting into a writing mindset, and it's up to you to figure out what works best for you. I'm going to give you 10 things that I do to get into a writing mindset and hope that it helps you and inspires you to start writing. And make sure you stay until the end because number 10 is the most crucial. So without any further ado, let's get started. One of the biggest things that I do is create and set a routine. I'm a creature of habit. And my routine actually differs from the week to the weekend. For instance, during the week, I rise early, 5 o'clock to be exact. I shower, do my toiletry, get myself ready, and then go downstairs and pack lunches for my husband and myself. At this time, my son also likes to get up early with me because he wants to watch some learning programs on TV and say farewell to me. I know, it's really early for a kid, but hey, Blippi's on. Then I drive to my work area, again, super early. I like to park by the mall because it's very quiet and it's less distracting than the work parking ramp, and there I could do some writing. I also write really late at night after my husband has put the kids down for bed. Now, I have a desk, but I've spent so many years writing in bed that it's most normal and comfortable for me to do so. And the weekend is normally when I film these videos. So instead of working on my novel, I do some blogging and then content creation. I have to remind myself that writing is not easy. If it was, everyone would be doing it. We would have libraries upon libraries upon libraries of everyone's written works. Writing is hard. Our most beloved authors admit that it took them years to craft their babies. Margaret Mitchell spent 5 years writing Gone with the Wind. Harper Lee spent 2.5 years writing To Kill a Mockingbird. J.R.R. Tolkien spent 7 years writing The Hobbit, with many years before the rest of his Hobbit world books were published. And my favorite, J.K. Rowling spent 5 years just planning Harry Potter before she wrote the first book. For myself, it's frustrating when I sit myself down and write and nothing comes to mind. And if it does, the first few sentences, paragraphs, even pages may not be on par to what I would consider to be good. And that's okay, because the whole point of writing is consistency and persistence. There's really no point in staring at a computer screen or a notebook if I'm not producing anything. It actually just makes me more frustrated. Therefore, I do other things, such as get out of the house. Speaking of which, I'm actually in need of another writing notebook and I'm meeting a friend at a coffee shop. So let's kill two birds with one stone and let's go do that. Come on. Oh, hey, I got you a coffee.
Hey there. Yeah, thanks for meeting with me. Oh, wow, that looks great. Wow, thanks.
So I was telling these lovely folks about how to develop a writing mindset. I was wondering what you could tell them.
So you want to know how to get into the writer's mindset? That's actually a great question. Think about something that you're really passionate about or something that you've seen lately. Think could be a book, a movie, or anything that really captures your imagination. Now, get that image in your mind, sit down and write about it, but make it easy. Do it only in 3 sentences, right? Just like the top 3 things that stood out to you. And then you've written your own story or your own description. Or you could even turn that into an even bigger story, something that really speaks to you. That will help you get into the writer's mindset. Oh, looks like I gotta go, but it's been great catching up with you.
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. We could definitely catch up another time.
Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Bye. And we're back. That was Kaufman, by the way, from Kaufman's Corner. He's a creative writer who uses his platform to help you better your writing and gain the support that you need. He also gives writing advice and will do live readings of your own stories if you want someone to read it. He also had podcasts that you can listen to. So go check him out after this. Back to the video. I like to get out of the house. As you saw, I like to go to such places as the bookstore or the coffee shop. Doing so allows me to change up my environment and it allows me to browse the aisles, hang out with friends, and grab a coffee. It also allows me to think about my writing, pay attention to my surroundings, and maybe use what I hear in a future piece of writing, and spend this time with my family.
Hi. Say hi to mommy. Princess.
Hopefully you saw this one coming. As easy as it is to use a computer or a phone because of its convenience, there are actually benefits to using a notebook and pen or pencil to do some writing longhand. For example, writing by hand improves your memory, it improves your writing and verbal skills, promotes creativity, allows you to process information better, and it's therapeutic. Now, I use notebooks to do some journaling, such as morning pages, or I jot down story ideas. I may write out scenes to my novels as they come to mind, or I write down conversations I hear as I pay attention to my surroundings. The list is endless when it comes to using a notebook. Every author advises that aspiring writers must read. Read in your favorite genre, read the classics, read the latest, greatest, just read. And that's because there are so many benefits to reading. Reading allows you to see what the publishing world is accepting, therefore what's popular and selling. You can learn new writing techniques and styles from authors. You can learn to study plot structure and story arcs more thoroughly in order to understand the art of storytelling. You can understand character development better and make your own characters more well-rounded. You can learn new vocabulary, spelling, sentence structures, and the like. You also learn how to form language and dialogue.
Yeah, baby.
And most importantly, you get to see the world through a new lens, be it the characters or the authors. I admit, as a mom with 2 toddlers, I don't have time to read or traditionally read, and this is when audiobooks come in handy. This is also a great way to learn if you are an auditory learner. Another great way for me to get into the writing mindset and get some inspiration and stay motivated to write is to reread my old writings. I have writings in multiple places, from boxes to USBs to my bedside to my phone. And the reason is because my writing habits have changed throughout the years. However, it's amazing to go back through and see how my writing has changed, and to especially see that I never really understood the concept of storytelling until about 4 years ago. Editing Lisa here to say that I cannot find my boxes of writing at the moment. In the past 8 years, I have moved about 3 times from apartment to the current house that I am living in. I am currently in my bedroom editing, and I cannot find my boxes of writing. I'm pretty sure they're in the basement somewhere, but when I find them, I will share them with you guys. And it was also at this time that I started truly writing again. I do have some of my old writings posted on my blog, so feel free to go and read those. We've all been there before. You sit down to write and nothing comes to mind. 1 minute turns into 10 minutes, which then turns to you just angrily and frustratingly asking why it is you're not writing. To solve this problem, instead of the act of writing, just think about what you want to write. Spend time playing scenes in your head, such as dialogue between characters, the next chapter, how the characters are going to go from A to B, maybe the ending of your story. You don't need to actively be writing. TMI, but one of the places where writing ideas come to me is in the bathroom. Try it. Now, this point is also passive. Instead of actively writing my story or thinking about it, I do some learning instead. As an ex-teacher, I'm a huge believer and advocate for remaining a lifelong learner. This could be attending workshops or online courses, listening to interviews, reading authors' memoirs or autobiographies, and so much more. In all honesty, my writing changed due to one author's writing course, and I wish that I had discovered it sooner because it taught me that I've been writing wrong my whole life. Thanks to the course and book, I now have a completed novel. For the journey about how I finished my novel, I'll link that video here. In all honesty, just write. I write anything, really. And I have to remind myself that I'm not aiming for perfectionism or my masterpiece. I'm really just shooting for consistency and persistence, as noted before. And this could be working on some writing prompts, a blog post, a future scene in my novel, rewriting the beginning or the ending of my book, and so on. If you ask any author for their writing advice, they're going to tell you to just write. And they're also going to admit that your first sentence to paragraph to pages to who knows however much may not even be publishable in the end. But that's not the point. The point is that you're writing because you're a writer. Before we get to the last tip of this video, if you found this video to be helpful and valuable, don't forget to click that like button. It really helps the algorithm to push this video over to other writers. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos just like this in the future. Now back to the video. And lastly, I have to get off of social media. This is because staring at a screen can actually eat up my time and my day, hours of it, unintentionally. Remaining on social media can also lead to health concerns such as depression and anxiety and a lack of social connections. Instead of staring at Facebook or Instagram or X and seeing how friends and family or celebrities are doing and comparing myself to them, I shut off my screen. Again, this is me being conscious about how I spend my time, choosing to be active. And of course, writing is an active form. Going on YouTube or TikTok and scrolling around is very passive. Also, spending the next year to 10 years dreaming about becoming a best-selling author is also passive. Sure, it's easy, but it's not going to get me the results that I want, and it's not going to help me either. Nor is it going to help you. You want to be a writer, So turn off this video, not quite yet, and get back to your writing. In conclusion, developing a writing mindset or getting into a writer's mindset can be very tricky for us writers. How do we gain the inspiration and the motivation to keep writing when life is happening in and around us? It's very subjective, but we can do it. I have given you 10 of the things that I do to help me get into a writing mindset, and I hope that you can apply them yourself when you get into a sticky spot. That's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're looking for more ways to improve your writing, don't forget to check out Kaufman's Corner. And I'll see you in another video. Until then, take care and have fun writing. Bye! Again, there's no right or wrong way to do morning pages. They're really there to help you clear your mind and get you ready to start your day's activities and tasks. The benefits of journaling include improved memory, lowered stress, enhanced critical thinking skills. I also caught the flu from my daughter, and then I caught the stomach flu right after from my husband, and I was basically out for 2 whole weeks. And personally, that really helped knowing that I wasn't just confounded, is that the word? Bound, I should say, by the book and the assignment. Hello my lovelies, welcome back to A Writer's Corner. If you clicked on this video, it's because you saw that I struggled to write for 12 weeks. That's roughly 3 months. It took me about 3 months plus a bit more to get to this video. And you're probably wondering how and why. Well, simply put, I tried morning pages. In this video, I want to share with you what morning pages are, the benefits of doing them, why I personally struggled, and what they actually taught me in the end. And the lessons are going to surprise you, so keep watching until the end. To begin with, what are morning pages? Morning pages were created by Julia Cameron, author of The Artist's Way, this book. They are 3 longhand pages first thing in the morning, hence the name morning pages. Simply put, you write 3 pages of journaling each morning by hand. The author says, the pages clear my head and prioritize my day. I think of them as a form of meditation. There is no wrong way to do the pages. You simply keep your hand moving across the page. Morning pages are journal entries for your eyes only. You could journal about the first thing that comes to mind or do some journal prompts and activities given in the book. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do morning pages. They're really there to help you clear your mind and get you ready to start your day's activities and tasks. And you're probably wondering, why should I do morning pages? Well, because there are many benefits to journaling. The benefits of journaling include improved memory, lowered stress, enhanced critical thinking skills, strengthened communication and writing skills, boosted emotional intelligence, and so much more. Just from writing 3 pages a day, you are actually helping yourself. There's no need for a therapist, a doctor, or even a companion. And you end up writing better, thinking better, speaking better, lowering the stress in your daily life, and increasing your own emotional intelligence just by learning more about yourself through writing. However, here's why I struggled with morning pages. It was so early in the morning. I was so tired. I barely could get anything down on paper. Not to mention, I started back in February and there was like no sunlight in the morning. So not having that sunlight really didn't help. And after just a week, I literally ran out of things to write about. Yes, there were some prompts and activities that I could have done, but I was way too tired to look that up and to do the prompts and to do the activities. So it was really me just staring at a notebook and coming up with things to write about. Most mornings, it was just me writing, I don't know what to write about. I don't know what to write about. I don't know what to write about. And other days, it was just recollecting how yesterday went. So my writing was pretty mundane. I really would have preferred to have done other things with my time rather than doing these morning pages. If you've been following me, you'll know that my writing routine starts early. I work on my novel, blog posts, content creation first thing in the morning in my car. If you want to learn more about that, check out the video here. Not to mention, working on morning pages was really hard to do on the weekend because my weekend routine was also different from my daily routine during the week. On the weekends, my schedule isn't really consistent. I also like to spend this time being able to sleep in. I also do chores and run errands, so I don't have a lot of time to read and write, unless it's a planned day to film a video. I also caught the flu from my daughter, and then I caught the stomach flu right after from my husband, and I was basically out for 2 whole weeks, and that took me right out of habit. It was hard for me to get right back into habit, and I also started the third draft of Project Emily. I also started another writing project so that I could James Patterson my time and my writing so that I don't get burnt out and bored from staring at one writing project for too long. Overall, my attention has turned away from strictly working on morning pages. Yet here's what I learned from attempting morning pages. Firstly, it's therapeutic. Once I got over the hurdle of trying to figure out what to write about, or even try to concentrate on writing and think about it, the writing came more easily to me. It also reminds me of what I used to do: journal. I kept journals from 6th grade through college, and these journals were anything from school notebooks to Dollar Tree journals to fancy looking journals that I got on sale at Walden Books or Borders. Like this video if you remember Walden Books or Borders. They were awesome. Working on morning pages was actually very emotional for me because it took me back to that place where I used to be when I used to journal. I used to journal to escape my reality because I grew up as the family's scapegoat, and journaling was my safe space. Journaling allowed me to go somewhere else, and it actually helped to ground me. When my mother tried to gaslight me with phrases like, "I didn't say that," or "I didn't do that," or "You remember wrong," I clearly didn't because I recorded it all. Again, working on morning pages was very emotional for me because it put me right back in that place, but I needed to recall where I came from so that I can be grateful for who I am now, where I am now, and to look forward to better things in the future. Plus, journaling allowed me to recall better days, and I'm talking about when I used to live abroad. I had newfound friends, a new lifestyle, a way better habit than I do at the moment. I have definitely fallen out of that habit, and I should go back to it. For instance, I was hanging out with friends once a week, I was watching Doctor Who and inspirational movies and TV shows and reading books, and it really impacted and affected my writing. I was also living on my own without the stress of family, and that allowed me to be more creative with my writing and in the kitchen. And to be honest, yeah, I fell out of that habit and I need to go back into it. I also learned that I have ADHD. I can't stick to one topic. I found it really hard to stick to the weekly themes, and instead I was just all over the place with my writing, which I think the author said was okay. There were also times when I had to type on my phone because I couldn't find the pen that I kept in my car to journal with. And I found that during this time, my mind couldn't concentrate as well as it did while I was working longhand. And I blame this on the autocorrect because every time my phone would autocorrect, I would have to correct the autocorrect because it wasn't always correct. And then I found myself worrying about my spelling. Did I write a full sentence correctly? And now I'm checking my spelling, checking my grammar, and I was literally getting off topic on what the morning pages were meant to be, and I wasn't writing full on for so-called 3 pages anymore. My biggest takeaway is that morning pages are really there to help you loosen up your creativity muscles and put them to work. So instead of just journaling in the morning, I can work on my novel instead. I can work on blog posts. I can work on scripting my next videos. The list of creativity was really endless. And personally, that really helped knowing that I wasn't just bound, I should say, by the book and the assignment, and I could really focus on other things, meaning I could replace them with the things that I needed to work on, rather than staring mindlessly at social media and other things on my phone for hours on end. In conclusion, I attempted 12 weeks or 3 months of morning pages, which are from this book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Morning pages are 3 pages of handwritten journaling that you do first thing in the morning as a way to spark creativity, lower stress, enhance your critical thinking skills, and so much more. However, I struggled with morning pages because I would rather be writing other things rather than journal, and I got sick often from my kids. I actually learned that the window and time frame used for morning pages can actually be allotted towards creating other things. So I could write blog posts, I could work on Project Emily, my novel, and I can create content for this channel, for these videos. There's no right or wrong way to work on morning pages. They can be anything really, just right. Do I recommend this book, its lessons, and their activities? Yes, but only if you are in dire need of trying to figure out what to write about. Say you want to start journaling, but you have no clue where to start. Try the activities. If you're struggling with your mental health, say you're stressed or you're depressed, try the activities. If you want to start writing a book or a novel and you don't know where to start or where to find the time to do that, try the activities. That's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked what you were watching, don't forget to subscribe for more in the future. And I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and have fun reading and writing. Bye!